How would you handle camping or Airbnb on your land? Can you guys help with the PMA or contract? That's easy. I'm already working through the LPP. And how would you word simple signage at the entrance to your property or land? Example, private property, private public notice by entering you're agreeing to the rules governing private membership association without the United States. So that's important, but I think you're reading too much into it. And what I mean by that is there's language you can put right on the contract. I'm sure at Airbnb.com. There's like right now we're in the process of creating businesses to go into the private. It'll probably be done in 14 days or less. So a business that's public, even with a restaurant or a bar, it doesn't matter. Those licenses that allow them to create food is one thing, but public versus private is the business license itself or your private membership association. So your business license to do business has nothing to do with your right to serve food, right to serve alcohol, none of it. So for example, for you, you don't need a sign and all that stuff. You may want to have them sign a notice like, hey, look, you're here, you're checking in, thank you so much. And I don't know how that works with Airbnb. I've never done an Airbnb. I've had other people do it for me, but I've never done one myself. But like I know when I go to a hotel, I check in, I sign something, and it could be obviously the same thing for an Airbnb. I do the contract right there. And we're actually creating all that stuff and for businesses or whatever. But for example, if you're like a public store and you don't want to be public, you want to be private, what I would do is put a sign right out in the front, right in front. By entering the store, you understand you're no longer in a public venue, you're in a private membership association, or you can call it whatever you want. And when they come in, you just say, hey, how you doing? Greet them. And if they want to shop, just say, look, be more than happy to let you purchase something. Obviously, you can't purchase anything unless you're a member. Membership is $1, and it's a lifetime membership, and we take it off the purchase price of your first purchase, no cost. Need to have you fill out this form, and they sign it. Thank you. Do the purchase. They're a member. It's done. They're private. That's no longer public. You gave notice before they walked in that it was private establishment. They sign a private agreement. You don't have to look. You do not have the right to charge taxes at that point, period, unless you're operating in the public. But if you're operating in the private, you are not allowed to charge taxes because you're not in a relationship with the state. So people go, how do you not pay the state tax? There is no state tax. Now, if there's alcohol involved and you're using that license to serve alcohol, that's a different case. You're still a private membership association, but that license has a requirement to collect taxes for that alcohol that's being sold. So that license is separate than this entity. And this entity is keeping it open for the people that want to come in private during the shutdowns that are going to happen again in the next year or whatever on the public side. But yet still the licenses will still exist. People will still be able to come in, party, mask, no mask. Why? Because they're signing a waiver. They're giving their rights away in a private setting to do so. And then that ability to collect tax for the license over here is still going to be the appropriate thing. So you have that public side entity that got approved, that got the license, that's doing a contract with the private side entity that's bringing in the members. And this contract right here, and this contract right here, this entity, the PMA, is going to say, yeah, we're going to bring you members and you're going to sell alcohol. And this entity is going to pay the taxation on that. And this entity is going to have private members that aren't required to wear masks or whatever and comply with public rules. It's that simple. For you, it's probably a little more simple than that, because you can get your contract done at the time of signing with the people, and all that money goes straight into the PMA. What I would do personally is I would make sure that the actual location is quit claimed into the foundation. And that way you have now a private entity that is running privately through the Airbnb, and then payments coming in are matching the payments on title. And that just solidifies everything.